Hi, and welcome to SRD. Hey, we want to give a shout out to Matthew C. from Texas for winning our Starfinder giveaway. He's going to get the core rule book as well as the Alien Archive and the Dead Sons campaign. So congratulations to him. We're also going to talk about, real quick, our giveaway for Encore. That's going to be coming up soon. We have a promo that's going to be shooting for that. But stay with us after this for our discussion on kind of the stuff that's going on with Roll20 and what it's really doing to the community right now.
Hey everybody, we wanted to let you know about our Encore Kingdom of the Gods giveaway. Like, subscribe, and comment on our videos for an opportunity to win a copy of the core rulebook, as well as a customizable DM screen. We'll be letting you know who the winner is on Halloween.
Got these skis, got my map and my cloak, got these players' heads a popping. Someone get me more coke. Hell yeah! Level up, level.
Hi, and welcome to SRD. I'm Scott.
And I'm Bree.
And today we're going to talk about kind of what's going on in the community with Roll20 and what it's doing to us as a community, how we feel about not the specifics but the situation itself. But we're going to give you a little bit of the background first.
So Reddit user Apostle O posted a post in Reddit titled, "Is criticism allowed here?" And he shared a long list of grievances, bugs, and problems that he had been having within the app. A few days later, his account was banned, citing that it was the same account as another that had been banned a year prior for the same thing, criticism.
Yeah, so the person that apparently was moderating that was Nolan Jones, who is a co-owner of Roll20. Apparently they have a long history of not really taking constructive criticism, from my understanding, too well. And a matter of fact, Nolan Jones had actually released this really lengthy post as a response to that. And I'm going to go ahead and read it to you so you can kind of get a gist of what's going on here. When someone's response to a ban from an ancillary forum is essentially, "I will spend enormous efforts attempting to burn down the store, we know from experience they'll do the same thing to other users they dislike, and we'll be left cleaning up the mess with poor user interactions." I think that Nolan was attempting to control the situation a little bit. But I think all the poster really wanted to do was to give some criticisms, because he had said that he really loved the program and had done plenty of things before. The problem is that kind of the community and Reddit itself has kind of stood up against this, and now Mr. Jones's post is the second most downvoted post on Reddit.
So Andrew from DawnforgedCast spoke out about his interactions that he had had with Nolan.
Yeah, so apparently himself and Taking 20, WebDM, Nerdarchy, pretty much the top few groups on the internet, they came together and they created this group, this live play they call Save or Dice. It's a really cool show. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and check it out. And they got a hold of Nolan, and he was like, "Hey, we love your product." They've done plenty of products for them. Matter of fact, Taking 20, the first time I'd seen Roll20 was seeing his tutorials on how to use it and how to do it, and I've watched them a couple times and it really helped me out in this. So I know that he loves the product. And so they got a hold of them and they were like, "Hey, we'd like to have you feature us, kind of like a sponsorship deal." And to quote, and we will put the description of the videos down in the under bits below so you can check them out for yourself. But the general gist was from Nolan that we don't need 5 white guys to promote our product. It was taken in some other ways. Andrew has put his word out there. Cody from Taking 20 has put his word out there. The thing is, at this point, is that Jim from WebDM, who corroborates the story, he says, "Yeah, I was there, this happened," doesn't take the same offense to that statement as the other two. Nerdarchy has remained quiet about it. And I think that's probably the smarter decision for them to do, is just kind of stay away from it. I think that Andrew was looking at the whole deal with Reddit last week and decided, we've had some interactions with this. This is why I no longer use Roll20. It was this interaction, and I think he was kind of playing with what was going on at the time. And I think Cody was just kind of forced to answer it on Taking 20, and then Jim was kind of the same way. He had to answer it because he'd kind of been called out. My problem isn't necessarily with anyone's individual opinions or with where they feel or they stand on the situation, other than at this point it's tearing apart the D&D community, the tabletop role-playing community. And Bree had said earlier something really good about it.
Right. We're not here to characterize any of the statements that were made, whether they were, or whether they weren't, or how they were supposed to be taken. That's not the point of this video. Really what we wanted to discuss is the fact that largely the gaming community has grown just exponentially over the last few years. It's tabletop gaming has become very popular, and for a long time it just wasn't. So what used to be a very small and interconnected community is a huge community now. Take Gen Con, for example. It's the best 4 days in gaming, and their turnstile numbers, they've sold out 2 years in a row now. Their turnstile numbers are an all-time high, and that's a lot of different people that you're now interacting with that before maybe you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing is that we all kind of take a step back and realize that it's still a community and it's still a gaming community. And that if you're wanting to participate in tabletop role playing, this isn't being behind a screen. This isn't playing an MMO, this is being with other people in a room and interacting. And you have to kind of come together on some level playing field and be able to work with one another for the community to continue to grow. Otherwise, it's just going to get a horrible reputation, and you're going to start seeing, go back to how it was vilified in the 80s.
The satanic panic.
Exactly. We don't want that to be how people view us as a gaming community. And when you have the...
I don't want my daughter going to school and saying, that she plays D&D or her parents play D&D, and it becoming this thing that, that's a hateful group. And when things like this happen, and by no means do I think that anybody is wrong in the situation, I think everybody had their reasons. I believe that everyone is entitled to their own opinions, of course, but a lot of folks are getting on there and are demonizing individuals for their opinions, specifically Nerdarchy, which was really weird to me considering they hadn't said or done anything in this entire situation, being called some really nasty things. When all of these people put out phenomenal content, they take the time out of their day, and believe me, we can tell you this is a lot of time. This is a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of love out of their day to put this stuff out there. And YouTube's a free format for the community to enjoy, and that's just the YouTube. It's not the Twitter, the Facebook, the myriad of modules and things like that go out there for people to use. So. Bree has a point, we need to, if we're not careful, we're going to turn the tabletop community into what the video game community has become. When I was a kid, it was a small group of people. If you were a gamer, you were a nerd, and that was it. But then it's grown into this huge thing, and it's become this vile, hateful thing, and I don't think anybody wants to see our community do that. So I think this attempt of a video is just, this is the news, this is what happened. But try to remember that we're all brothers and sisters in tabletop gaming. We love these things, and we want to keep this community alive and going and being a positive place for everybody to come to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when we talk about accepting feedback, whether you're a player, whether you're a game master, this is no different. The feedback from the community is the same as if you would get feedback in a game, and you have to learn to take that feedback, and then what you do with it and how you respond to it is very important. It can affect, just a small campaign that you're running and ruin it if you react poorly to feedback. And, like I said, I'm not here to characterize whatever this situation was, but I think it should be a lesson to us to take feedback and to think before you respond, and to really weigh those responses, even if you're just one of the people who's commenting on one of these videos, saying about what's happened. Remember that there are people behind the screen, and people that have put a lot of work into it, but they're still people.
Yeah, and we've met some of these people, and they're awesome. I mean, obviously we don't know them personally, that like we know of each other here in this room, but from what I've met of them and the things of interaction we've had, they're still good people, and they definitely don't deserve the spit that's been thrown at them. So I think it's kind of all we've got on this subject this week. So join us next week. We're going to go over some other cool stuff. We have a special request for doing some creating worlds and cultures and those kinds of things. On top of that, we also are going to be doing an RPG lab, which is a pretty unique thing where we pull together different homebrew material from the various internets, and that's going to be over on RPG Lab on Twitch. We're doing a collaboration with them, so look out for that.
On the internets. Thanks, Jim.
Keeping it wild. In the forest, I got style. I'm a level 30 ranger.